Fat Parka does a tope and his belly, like he makes it by a belly hair. And I'm not even kidding. Like it looks like it shaves off like his belly hair. What's up? The Skull Captain is in his house. Who needs the 1-4? Who needs the 411 when you got the 1414? That is 1-4.
The homies.
1 for me and 1 for my homies. Welcome to $2 Steak of Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Varnum. Joining me today, as always, Cookie.
What's up?
Big Mike.
Hello.
And actually in studio, Tolbert.
Chairman's clocking in.
Chairman is clocking in. My homies, the Skull Captain, right here. Folks, we're actually going to do a Parka episode today. And I know that we've put it off for probably 3 to 4 months at this point. Every 2 weeks, we're like, yeah, we're not going to do it. We also had a couple weeks off. We had Mother's Day last weekend.
We did.
How was your very first experience?
It was good.
As a mother?
It was it was very nice. I opted for diamonds and gold in form of a ring for Mother's Day for the first one.
Oh, what is it?
Sure.
So you went to you got jewelry for Katie.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so I figured I'd play it safe. She loved it, and then we got together with Mike and his family, and some of the mothers of the rugby team. Travis and his lovely wife came out too, and we did Low Country Boil, cooked up some crab legs, and drank some beer. Did it up.
Sounds delicious. Were you able to? Hold on, real quick. Let me adjust your mic a little bit. Were you able to do some yakitori?
No, but we did grilled chicken.
That's not yakitori.
Well, it kind of is.
Okay.
It's the literal translation of it.
Oh, it's grilled. Just grilled. I did not know that. I need that's not a part of the professional wrestling lingo over there.
But we had a lot of food. We kind of filled up on crab legs, and that was my dinner late night. That was
nothing like coming home to some
leftover chicken,
leftover crab legs
or chicken. We ate all crab legs.
So anything else? I know that last week you had the return of not the Jedi, but the Wookiees did come back.
Oh,
the
man.
Wooks. How was that? Did you have any Wook stories for us?
So much stuff has happened in the past few weeks.
Yeah, like
it's all blending together. You had family reunion before that.
I forgot you had a family reunion.
Yeah, which we haven't had a consistent recording schedule lately because of all this, but yeah, had a family reunion on my mom's side. Haven't been there since I was probably 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, and so, was it one of those deals back in the day? You're like, who's that? She's kind of cute, and then it's like, oh, that's your cousin.
Oh no, no, I'm very aware where my surroundings. But yeah, it was a good time. Got to hang out with more of the immediate family at the house. That was a good time as well.
Okay, yeah.
But yes, Widespread did come back in town, and
did you panic?
No, it was a little more subdued than it was last year, and I think
really
the pandemic had something to do with that. Everyone cooped up. First show, they all just
for the first one, yeah.
But we did have some return characters as well. I'm like, oh man, I remember you from last year. And they come back in, they're like, oh, I love this bar. We were here last weekend or last year for the weekend.
Y'all kicked me out last year. Oh, this is where my titty fell out.
I had a guy sit down. He was pretty high on mushrooms. He proceeds to tell me the story how he kicked him out last year and how it wasn't his fault. And his friend talked him into throwing something at someo's head.
Oh, it was that guy. You told that story last year.
And he said he was sorry, and he tipped me $350.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, thank you.
Oh my god, dude! The Wooks now are rolling in the dough. They have all that.
Most of them are, man. It takes money to follow a band around the country and stay in hotel rooms and party.
So
it takes a lot of money.
So green shirt guy on WWE is the Wook of WWE.
Exactly.
Okay, exactly. So he's a trust fund kid. He's able to go to every wrestling show in the front row. So Wooks are pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, but just a bunch of, we had string cheese incident 3 days before widespread. So all of downtown was just jam band kids for like a week and a half.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. So, but we also have some friends that work in the hotel industry, like maintenance and things like that. So you start telling stories. It was Tuesday and some of these fuckers were still here.
Oh God.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, man. I'm just here. But also I heard that string cheese incident, it did get rained out. So like after 30 minutes, because I was talking yesterday, I went to a 1-year-old birthday party, right? And I was talking to somebody that works security at these events, right? Mm-hmm. And he's checking people as they come in, and the guy comes in, and the guy has a glass thing of mushrooms, right? He's got like a whole thing of mushrooms. He's trying to bring in past security. And the guy's like, I mean, the least I can say is that you're trying to bring food into this venue. Like that's on the least scale, like at the most you're trying to bring in a Schedule 1 narcotic, like, so he's like, you can't bring that in. I'm not going to narc you out, but he can't bring it in. And as soon as he said that, the guy turns it up and eats the entire thing. Right. Yes. And he's like, he's going to have a very good concert. 15 minutes later, the concert's canceled, and this guy's standing there with he was just like housed an entire half a pound of mushrooms, and this guy's got nothing to have a release of his energy. You know,
I'm going downtown.
You probably saw that guy last weekend.
Probably did.
He was probably breaking into Orton's last night. It's one of those things.
Oh man.
So good to see you here. I'm glad that. While we were getting ready, Katie sent us a picture of a large turd that your baby sent. So,
oh my God,
your child has been.
I missed that one.
Glad you missed that one. So the fatherhood, everything is going well.
It is. She's getting to the point where she's a little older, so I'm getting a little more freedom in the schedule, a little more wiggle room, if you will. She's taking 2-hour naps in the afternoon, which has changed my life.
Yeah, I can totally see that. All right, Mike, anything going on this week? Past 3 weeks?
The last 3 weeks, no, just living life, existing, right? We like Tolbert said, we had a great Mother's Day. It ate so much that like the problem was I ate so much at like 1 o'clock that day that I didn't eat anything the rest of the night.
Yes.
Didn't eat breakfast the next day. And by like lunchtime, I realized like I was like shaking and like not feeling good. I said, I haven't eaten anything in 24 hours. I need to like eat something. So almost had an accident there. But other than that,
an accident, like
if you're hypoglycemic, are
you hypoglycemic?
If I don't eat for 24 hours, I am.
Oh, I guess. Oh, so I didn't know. Is that can be anybody can be hypoglycemic?
I mean, anybody's blood sugar can tank, especially again if you're out in the sun, hanging out and not eating. That was
right.
So Mike, I don't know if this happened. So our dogs attended the Low Country Boil. And,
did your dogs
Opie,
eat?
I already know where you're going, and yes, it did happen.
Yeah, Opie can reach the table. And then my little dog Snuffy was there, and she was like the little bird that follows the rhinos around and gets the little pickings, which she's not getting. And at 3 a.m. she threw up in the bed. My wife was trying to calm.
Yeah, I woke up. It wasn't in the bed, but it was right around 3 a.m. as well, to the sounds of that like classic animal vomiting.
Now that'll wake you up, and you'll be real alert at any moment. Like that's any kind of like alarm can go off, and I could probably sleep through it. Once an animal starts throwing up, that noise that they start making, you're up and you're awake, and you're like, "Where the hell are they?"
Yeah, luckily for me, my wife found it first. I heard it happen. I said, "I'm just gonna let it go." See what happens. I'm not gonna go hunting for this.
Through it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go hunting for this at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, it's better than that than having your kids playing with it at 6 a.m. though.
Oh God.
True. That's true, but you gotta pick your battles. You gotta pick your battles.
Cookie, you came into town last weekend. We got to see a couple of us got to see you, but one of us had to do a family reunion.
Yeah.
Cookie, how was it to be able to come back to town and see all your friends play some rugby? Tell me about alumni weekend.
Man, alumni weekend was refreshing more than anything else. It was really good to be back at sea level.
Yes.
It's really good to, not drink 2 beers and be fucked up because of the altitude.
What is that good? I would think that you would be saving money in Denver or yeah.
Well, Aaron, a beer here, you got to remember, is like what, $15?
Oh,
So I think I was saving money. I know I was saving money. Actually, I went to the mall. I ended up going there at one point, bought like 3 shots, 2 beers, and something else, and it was only $25. I was like, wow.
Wait, Cookie, you said it was refreshing because usually you're the most hungover I've ever seen you after alumni weekend.
Usually, yeah. Usually. But I think I'm going to give that title to Mike this year because Mike, I don't know if you remember, bro, but that Saturday night, you were gone.
We were all tying one off on Saturday night. Nothing too crazy.
Not too crazy. I was the most hungover the day before the game, which is probably one of the worst things that you could be.
Friday?
That Friday, yeah. Listen, Aaron, I didn't even get a chance to tell you this, but Friday night we go out downtown, of course, and I'm getting all kinds of things like coffee shots. I'm getting kamikazes and green teas, and I'm drinking beers on top of that. Probably did a Jaeger bomb too.
Ugh.
And at the end of the night, we end up going to Waffle House.
I'm not bad. I'm not gonna that. I like Waffle House.
I love Waffle House, but when you spend 2.5 hours there because the food is taking that long.
Oh God, was it the one downtown?
Yes, it was.
You would think that they would have like a system in place.
It looks so nice, and then you go in and you see the roaches, and you're like, "Oof, okay, maybe not."
R.I.P. Soapbox.
Yeah, R.I.P. Soapbox. Who I saw many a band at the Soapbox. That was a great location. I thought that it was going to be there forever. It was not.
Great place. Definitely a great place. But all together, alumni weekend was phenomenal. I mean, every night we went downtown. Thankfully, I never went to the beach. I heard it wasn't that great anyway. Yeah, man, we just got
any particular stories from the game or after the game. Anything fun going on?
He doesn't remember.
He doesn't remember.
I was just about to say, like, I'm trying to remember exactly.
He just gave us the Homer Simpson on rock bottom interview.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. Like, usually everyone does something crazy, and I'm like, yeah, this happened. We didn't really have that much, man. It was
you're getting older and you're maturing, Cookie.
No, man, we can't. No, that can't be it. Next year, we're just gonna have to go 10 times harder.
Do it, brother, and then go ahead, go do it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, Aaron. Aaron, were you at the game? You were at the game, right?
Cookie, I was. Yes. I bound onto you in the scrum.
Okay. Yes. All right.
I was on your left hip in the scrum.
Yeah, can I finish? All right. Yes. The clam juice at the game.
Okay.
Did you have any?
No.
You didn't have any? Okay. Well,
Cookie, I barely drink.
Well, I didn't know if you had some or not, man.
No.
Well, listen, I was just going to say, I definitely had at least 3 or 4 of the cups of that shit, which is basically the same thing as porch walker. What's it called?
Porch walker.
Porch crawler.
That was the
porch crawler.
The porch walkers were in the Game of Thrones.
That's right. My bad. The porch crawler. Here's what I learned. It's basically the exact same thing. I had 3 of those, Aaron, and I do not remember my afternoon. There was a point in between that game and going downtown that I do not remember.
Well, you and I, we had a couple conversations. We ate some barbecue together. I definitely talked to you for like 20 minutes after the game.
You definitely did. Now I do remember that. But
yeah, we hung out as friends, Hey,
look, very true. But what did Mike just say about being out in the sun and not having really a lot to eat? And
you're hypoglycemic? Is that what you're telling me?
That's the name of this episode.
Hypoglycemia. Well, we're finally back together. We're finally doing an episode. What happened? Did I do anything over the last 3 weeks? Jasmine's birthday was Friday night. We took her out, or Derek took us out, and Derek got to take us out to the Little Dipper. Jasmine got to pick where she wanted Derek to take us out to dinner. I should have Derek call in. I should have called him in. I wanted Derek to explain to us his first experience with a fondue. And it was very interesting because Derek had never had fondue. Derek didn't know how to cook the stuff. He just wanted to, like, you know, he wanted to experience it with us. He was drinking his Corona, had a great time. And it was a good time. You know, you have a beautiful first course of delicious cheeses, breads, vegetables, things to dip within. Then you've got a meat course, and we had a delicious base of it was a Cajun base, like a Cajun broth for our base, and we did a lot of seafood with it. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you have it was amaretto and Kahlua and dark chocolate was our dessert.
Sexy.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. Some of the best fondue I've ever had. We went downtown. We went to Cape Fear to go see Tolbert. Tolbert was not working, of course. And we ended up having a shot. Cece gave us a shot there that night. And then afterwards, we went and had a nightcap over at Lula's. First time I got to Lula's in a long time.
It has been a while. I miss me some Lula's.
Lula's is always the best.
Y'all miss me Friday because I went out Thursday night. And I hadn't been able to just kind of, my sister-in-law was in town. So I was like, old Tolb's going to sneak away. And I got so hammered on Thursday. I was hungover all day long Friday.
Sad. We failed to mention yesterday, Mike and I both went to the Highland Games.
Yeah, you
did.
Yes.
That was an interesting. It was
Mike, you got to spend more time at the Highland Games. What are your impressions on the Highland Games?
I mean, it was something. There's a lot of people that like to dress up and wear kilts and be proud of their Scottish heritage, which is cool. The events were interesting, but they're somewhat versions of your typical track and field things. So, and
it's also not the most entertaining. Like, it doesn't seem like very organized in a way where you're like everybody's watching one event at one time and it becomes a big deal.
They had them going in pods and like running 3 events simultaneously. So you tend to get drawn into the most visual one, which was either the wheat bag pitchfork toss thing or
they throw a bag of wheat.
Essentially what would be a hammer throw, but with like an actual like stick with a weight on the end of it. I was not as impressed with the log toss thing, the caber toss.
Yes, that was terrible.
That's the one you
obviously
generally think of when
because you think that they're gonna like throw it, and no, it's like flip it over once and make sure it's laying straight.
And this is a classic example of I probably would not do well with it, but I think of all the events, that's the one I think I could easily master first.
So Mike, did Hulk McHugan just beast every single event?
He wasn't competing.
Hulk McHugan, I think he did compete, but I think he was in the senior division. He did not did
not qualify. D&Q.
When you think of a barrel-chested Scottishman wearing his Hulk Hogan bandana, much like the Hulkster, was not very limber and did not appear very athletic. And this time
was his theme song "I Am a Real Scottish Man"?
Play with bagpipes actually.
Wait, wrong guy. Wouldn't that be Rowdy Roddy? No, that's Hook McHugan.
It was a good time. I mean, you know,
we got to see our boy Joe off, and Joe went ham. Yes,
Joe almost did not make it to the social last night.
We had to get him to the Greek. We taxed Byron, right?
I looked at Byron and said, get this man to the social because it's his first ever end of year social. He was getting an award. We needed to make sure he made it. And he did get there, but then he quickly left as soon as he got his award.
He needed to sleep. Yes, Cookie.
Aaron, real quick. I remember someone left a 5-star review. And I want to know who did it, Aaron.
Yeah, I don't know, but let me look at this 5-star review again, and I will read it out loud. This is our we don't get a lot of reviews here on $2.
We don't get a lot of listens, especially when we take 6 months to do a La Parka episode.
And everybody being big La Parka fans, they get a little anxious.
Yeah. By the big Parka fan, you mean Travis.
Oh, we got another one. It says, I'm drunk, right? 5 stars. 5 stars. Boy. I'm drunk, but Cookie could give it to me, and I would simply ask for more. A+ in the bedroom and in the pod booth. That was by Garrett C., 1991.
Shout out Garrett.
That's terrifying.
Cookie, there you go.
I thought it was Chase, so.
Yeah, is it Garrett Chase McCougan?
Maybe. Born in 1991. Who knows?
Was he?
No, he was born in 93.
Garrett C.
Who is Garrett C., Aaron?
I don't know, brother, but he's a fan of $2 Steak, a pro wrestling podcast. Let's talk about some La Parka, the real chairman. I'm going to mention this real quick. There are 2 La Parkas. It's confusing, right? So there is La Parka that we grew up on in WCW. La Parka was actually an IP, which was an intellectual property of AAA, right? So they owned the intellectual property of La Parka. When La Parka went to WCW, the guy in AAA who owned it and also the La Parka IP said, I am going to make my own La Parka because this La Parka is not wrestling in America right now. So he had his own La Parka, right? So then there was 2 La Parkas, one that was an American audience, one that was a Mexican audience, La Parka. Over the years, they both kind of crossed paths a few times. The original La Parka renamed himself to LA Park and had some cool matches. We see 2 of his matches today, but we're also going to watch the AAA La Parka. Anyways, it was very confusing. They had a whole clan. Like, there was a whole family. There's like Super Parka, La Parka Jr., like there's like a micro La Parka that was a lot of fun. So all this stuff, right? It's very confusing. La Parka that Cookie has a match of ended up passing away after an injury sustained in the ring, right? So he did a tope, jumped out, hit his neck or his head, was paralyzed, and then ended up dying because of these injuries. The other La Parka, who I call Fat Daddy La Parka, who's my favorite, right? He's still around, still wrestling, all this stuff. So now that I get to, I've explained that there are multiple La Parkas. We are going to touch on both. Also, the original La Parka, Bobby Eaton was terrified of the original La Parka because Bobby Eaton saw him without a mask on and literally thought he was a demon because he was so ugly. And he did not want to be around La Parka. And William Regal paid La Parka money to go sit in catering and stare at Bobby Eaton for hours. It's an incredible story. It's on Chris Jericho's podcast, a eulogy of Bobby Eaton. So anyways, let's talk about some La Parka. For the first matchup of the evening, we have got La Parka against Rush. Not Geddy Lee. Yeah, that's Mike. Yeah, Mike.
Well, I didn't realize it was Rush. I thought it was Rush Mono.
Oh, it could be Rush Mono.
No, I think it's Rush because then it says Mono, Lucha, Super, Estelar, Extrema, 16 Julio, 2016.
So that's July 16th, 2016.
And this
Man
is
on Man.
On TV Azteca in what I want to say is somewhere in Mexico.
I would venture to say that you were correct.
All right. So I will be honest. This had a lot going on.
Yes.
I believe after watching it through 3 or 4 times that it is a 2 out of 3 falls match.
I don't even know. I think it was just a 1 falls match, and it ends halfway through.
But then they keep going.
Yes.
This is anyway. It starts off immediate action right from the get-go. Rush is what I would say is a young, athletic, spry heel in this match.
Good looking, almost like a Sammy Guevara.
Yeah. And La Parka is a thick boy. He's a little older. He's trying to get around a little bit, but he's thick.
He's got, Mike, you can say he's got a gut.
He's got a gut.
He's got a very large gut.
It's pretty rotund. And so rushes Parka as he's walking down and immediately starts. That's where the video begins. They immediately get out into the crowd, going back and forth. This is the first time we see it. And we see it a couple more times where Parka just looks lost. He's kind of confused. He's casually just kind of walking around the outside in the fans. He gets back in. He just kind of puts his hand on the rail, like looks around, takes a breath.
I would venture to say that his blood sugar was low.
There is a chance that he was actually hypoglycemic at this point. And when that happens,
Get him a Jolly Rancher.
You need to get these people some sugar. So Rush, being the good person that he is, he attempts to rip off Parka's mask so that he can get a sandwich and some crackers and juice into him. So get his blood sugar back up. And he does actually succeed in ripping off Parka's mask. And I will say it didn't. The crowd is hyped through the whole thing. And so it didn't really change the crowd hypeness, and it just became more of a distraction for me.
Okay.
So Rush gets his mask off, and then I remember vividly one time Aaron was just shitting on Adam Page on AEW TV on a Wednesday because he adjusted his knee pad before doing a move or after he landed on the outside.
Yes.
And the rest of this match is just Parka trying to slightly adjust what's left of his mask. Because imagine taking the mouth of a mask and ripping it in half, kind of like you're peeling an orange in half or something like that. And so the bottom is under his chin and around his mouth, while the top of his mask head is now behind his back.
It's like in the movie Venom, like when Venom is his head's coming out of Venom, right?
And so, but then the rest of the match, Parka is just casually readjusting his thing.
And you can obviously see what he looks like throughout the match.
And it's funny because the way Parka's got some nice long hair. He's a little thick. He looks a little older. The way the mask looks being shredded as it is, it reminded me of either the bad guy from Mad Max with the big
the one with the face thing,
and the hair and all that sort of stuff, or Darth Vader at the end of the
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, where he's about to die in a fire on the Death Star.
Return of the Jedi, last one.
He's got the mouthpiece in.
Anyway, I can see.
So that's all I could think of was both of those. Match is continuing on. We do get another outside scene. This is where it gets a little awkward. And Parka and Rush go up the ramp. We don't see what's going on because there's a security guard standing in front of the camera for no less than 25 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
When he eventually does get out of the way, you see Parka walking back, and you see Rush walking into the stadium in a way.
It's he just disappears.
Parka, having not received the juice and sugar that he needs to raise his blood sugar back up, he does the confused wander around thing again. And I'm thinking okay, Rush is just going to come screaming down the ramp or down these stairs and just tackle Parka or do something crazy. Instead, Parka gets on the inside of the ring. We're still waiting for Rush, and then he casually starts strolling down with what looks like a mailbox.
It looked like the heaviest mailbox in human history. At
first, I thought it was a garbage can, but if you look at it, it's got 4 legs that elevate up the base, and then the hole's on the bottom. So I have no idea, but it looks like military surplus, very old, very heavy, very metal. And he hits Parka in the head with it. That busts Parka open, and Rush is just living it up. The crowd continues to go wild. We get a little bit of actual wrestling inside the ring. This is where it gets really confusing because they get back outside. Parka then gets said mailbox carrier thingy-majiggy, hits Rush in the head with it, and then the referee lifts Rush's hand up like he won.
And calls it. Yeah, I was confused about that.
But then, for the next 7 minutes, they're still kind of wrestling. And they're both bleeding. Parka hits the thickest tope suicide I think I've seen since Keith Lee tried one.
And I will say, when he goes through, his belly pulls the rope slightly, and it's a beautiful thing. You can tell it's just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, so they're wrestling again. I don't know what's going on. Can't speak Spanish. Parka starts beating the shit out of Rush. People are throwing trash into the ring. And then it like kind of just stops, and then Parka's like taking a bow, and it looks like it's his retirement match.
And then it starts back up again, right?
No.
It ended after that one. Okay.
And then they kind of walk up the ramp, and Rush is like, I don't know, man. It was just weird. This is the one instance where normally I like the international wrestling we watch because it gets you in a different kind of feeling. I had so many questions. I need them answered because, like, why are they throwing garbage? What is that container? Why is Parka hypoglycemic? What is going on?
Why did the referee raise the other guy's hand?
Yeah, why did Rush's hand get raised? But by the end they're both bleeding out their faces and doing drop kicks, and it's wrestling.
It was entertaining, yet it was confusing.
Entertaining. So confusing.
Anything else, Mike? Any final thoughts?
No final thoughts. Follow us at #2 $steak_ on Instagram and Twitter. Occasionally we actually do submit some content. I think I had a Mother's Day post about Judy Bagwell on Instagram. And I said, Happy Mother's Day to all the amazing women who go above and beyond when looking over their families. With the classic picture of Judy Bagwell. And then I also had a tweet referencing Mother's Day. Didn't think I should phone it in. And so this one was a picture of the sorry, I'm laughing just looking at it again. Mae Young in her hand, and I said, just want to give a helping hand to the Mark Henry and wishing Mae Young a happy Mother's Day. She's gone but not forgotten. That didn't get as much like movement as I thought it would. It's unfortunate. I think people just don't appreciate the quality that we cater to and really provide the public.
And I know, and nowadays, you've got everything going on with Twitter. It's a hellhole, and
we are slowly gaining. Like we're at like 385 or something like that.
Yeah, we're doing well, but we're not doing well.
Instagram's over like 200 followers, so people like follow us, I guess.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Or whatever.
All right, for another confusing matchup, Cookie.
Oh, yeah.
You have got two men that have both passed away after professional wrestling. Silver King against Parka. You get AAA Parka.
Yes.
Silver King had a heart attack in the ring a couple years ago in Great Britain and ended up passing away. And then Parka, we mentioned it earlier, passed away after sustaining some injuries. But you've got a very interesting and kind of confusing matchup as well. It's chaotic. I enjoyed it. Cookie, what did you got?
Yeah, man. We first off, we got drama off the bat. We start this match with a very intense video package, and you see some very familiar names. Am I right, Aaron? Like,
yeah, I loved it. There was like Octagon Jr., there was X-Pac, there was Psychosis.
It was everyone. It felt like all the American, American
Conan as well, right?
Yeah, Conan was also there.
And Vampiro?
Yeah, and Vampiro. All the big WCW guys that you can think of in the late 90s were pretty much a part of this organization of bad guys, international, if you will. I think it was Legion Extranjera. I can't pronounce it. But essentially, it was just an international club of bad guys. And off the rip, guys, basically to translate what went down, essentially Parka and Silver King, they were hermanos. They were brothers in arms against the radical international regime of Conan, X-Pac, and all these other guys. And then Silver King turns on Parka and joins forces with the bad guy, Conan. And, he gives this very emotional promo, Parka does, where he says, you said we were brothers, and what do you want from me? And it reminded me of the famous promo from Sid Vicious, where he just goes, "Why me? Why me?" And that's how Parka felt. He said, "Why me?" And in a very tearful.
Wait. 21.
Yes.
21.
Porque. Oh man. It was very funny.
Oh, no, it was 22. Excuse me. 22.
Yeah, it was 22. Well, close enough. They know what we're talking about. Where was I at? Oh yeah, Silver King's response to this, he basically says, "What do I want? I want your head, bitch." That's what he says in Spanish. It's pretty fucking badass. Anyway, that's pretty much the gist of this match. Let's go ahead and get into the countdown. Two bitter rivals, La Parka from AAA and Silver King.
Cookies, top 4, number 1.
First off, La Parka comes out to a song that I know they definitely did not have or buy the rights to.
You know they did not buy the rights to this because this is probably one of the most expensive artists that you could possibly license.
100%. It's Thriller by Michael Jackson. The 1985 pop hit. There's no way that AAA down in Mexico bought the rights to this. But who knows? Maybe La Parka knows some people.
He does not.
Yeah, probably not. And then Silver King comes down the aisle.
Wait. You failed to mention that La Parka had the most beautiful dance I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, I missed it. I did. I skipped that part. He does the greatest half-ass MJ impersonation I've ever seen in my life. A little two-step here and there. I think he tried to do the moonwalk, Aaron.
It was beautiful, whatever he did. And the lights are flashing. It's an experience.
It is. It is an experience. And what made this an even better experience was Silver King and the music that he chose to come down to.
Maybe the second most expensive licensing.
Has to be. Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana.
It actually smells like Teen Spirit.
Like 100. This is not like the WCW like shitty version that DDP came down to.
No, this is actually Nirvana.
He heard Kurt Cobain and everything. But he comes down with who? But Psychosis.
That's right.
Another member of this international gang.
Cartel?
Ooh. Is it a cartel?
I would say it's a cartel.
Who knows, Aaron? I don't want to get into that, man. I'm not trying to I don't even know. I'm not trying to get beat up or something like that. Anyway, this match already has 3 cookies, Aaron, just from the introductions alone. They made my night. Let's go to the next one.
Number 2.
Aaron, what did you enjoy the psychology behind the ripping of the mask?
I mean, like I see it in all 3 matches that we have today. So I did the first time I saw it, and then it kind of just lost its luster.
Well, I did. I was obviously the best person on the podcast this week because I only watched my match. I didn't watch anyone else's. And I say that sarcastically because I was just like, I honestly watched this like 10 minutes before the podcast. But anyway, I thought the psychology behind the ripping of the mask was pretty cool. It was the biggest heel move ever, the ultimate disrespect. And Aaron, I don't know what was going on with the referee, but I think the referee was a heel as well because he grabbed La Parka and yeah, I don't know. He grabbed him, and even La Parka grabbed the ref's hand before he counts to 3. The greatest babyface move ever. But yeah, so there's a lot of psychology here. The wrestling beyond that was pretty mediocre, Aaron, if I'm not honest.
But you got the intro.
That's true. We do still have the intro. Still sitting at 3 cookies.
Yeah, you have to give it at least 3 for the non-licensing licensing.
100%.
Number 3.
Those chair shots from Silver King. They were absolutely ruthless. And at
unprotected.
Very unprotected. And at this point, La Parka's mask is like half hanging off. So like basically the same thing that happened in Mike's match, where you got the thing basically hanging like around his neck. He looked like Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Or Smoke if you played Mortal Kombat. My Mortal Kombat.
I remember Smoke or Noob Saibot.
Ooh, also yes.
I only know this because Tolbert and I, in the middle of the pandemic, watched the Mortal Kombat film.
Yeah, we did. It was
terrible.
You know, I rewatched it, and at first I thought it was so cool, and now I'm just like, it's not that great.
Not good.
No, not good at all. So you guys are spot on that.
We had nothing to do.
Yeah, there was literally like Tolbert's business is closed, and Mortal Kombat is on the TV. And we Tolbert rolled a joint, smoked a joint, and I went to pick us up some lunch, and we watched some Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But wasn't an experience.
Sure.
I cherish it.
I do say that Godzilla vs. King Kong was vastly underrated in the that was the other film that we watched during the pandemic.
Very fair. Speaking of movies, I will say Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Good. I loved it.
It was a phenomenal movie. But yeah, so everyone at home can definitely tell how great this match was because now we're talking about Marvel characters and superheroes.
That's right.
Yeah. This match was low-key god-awful. Anyway, let's go to the next one, Aaron.
Number 4.
This match had a very WWE finish, and this kind of brought the rating down, not going to lie to you. The La Parka and Silver on the outside battling it out. Psychosis is intervening, basically helping out Silver King. No disqualification yet. But for some reason, the ref starts to count. There's been no disqualification, even though La Parka got hit in the head 3 times with a chair.
Right. God
forbid. So La Parka does basically does a plancha over this barricade on the King and Psychosis. And while they're out there, they're ignoring the referee's count. He ends up counting to 10. I say acceptable plancha over the barricade, but Parka damn near blew out both of his knees.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say something about how this La Parka has a lack of bunnies. Did not jump very high.
Yeah, it cost him a cookie. I'm not going to lie to you. It cost him a cookie. There was not a lot of athleticism. Silver King does like a moonsault at one point in the match, but that is like the height of any kind of top rope maneuvers or feats or anything like that. It was a decent match, Aaron. There's no honorable mentions either. That's how.
Yeah, all right. I get it.
But, Aaron, those entrances alone.
3. At least 3.
Gave this match 3.5 cookies.
All right. 3.5 cookies.
3.5 cookies. Not bad at all. I love Nirvana and I love Michael Jackson.
But you won't pay for them.
No, not at all, Aaron. And when I had LimeWire back in the day, guess who I was downloading?
Yes, me too.
100%.
All right, for a final matchup of the evening and a preview of next week's episode, I guess you kind of understand who our other competitor is going to be next week.
Sabu, possibly?
Sabu.
Sabu.
We have got LA Park against the one, the only Sabu.
So this is WCW's?
No, this is MLW.
I mean, is the same La Parka?
Yes, this is WCW La Parka.
Yeah, and this is post ECW for Sabu.
But Joey Styles is on the call.
He is. So this is MLW. Pretty large crowd. It looks like a typical ECW crowd, a little smaller, but still a decent crowd.
At one point, there's one guy, and I swear to God, he smiles, and he's only got one tooth. And I'm like, that guy is totally Philly trash.
So we got Sabu and La Parka setting it off. The chairman comes in with his chair, of course.
Yes.
Sabu comes in with his chair, of course. Yes. Both known for their chair work.
Yes.
It's what they live by.
Yeah. So this I felt was a very apropos matchup between the chairman and the king of chairs, Sabu.
Yeah, a beautiful touch to the match. I thought. I knew exactly how this was going to go right from the start because Sabu has a hatchet man on his pants, and he's wearing it as his turban is the American flag.
I forgot that he had the turban, the American flag turban.
And of course, in his corner, Bill Alfonso with the whistle.
Willie.
So right off the bat, La Parka mocks Sabu a little bit. He sets his chair up. He's like king of the chair, and then immediately Terry Funk style throws it straight at Sabu and smacks him with it. It's great. Then we get like a little Mexican standoff with the chair,
literal
between Sabu and La Parka. I just love the way La Parka acts out his actions sometimes.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. And
it's fun. it's threatening, but not threatening because there's a man in a skeleton costume doing it, so it's not as threatening.
How he motions like, hey, I'm putting down my chair.
It's like those old videos where people would like turn the light off and they're wearing the glow in the dark things, and you just see the bones dance.
Which Sabu immediately responds with tossing his chair straight at him, which he does dodge. And then, Aaron, we jump right into some amazing chain wrestling.
What the hell,
guys at this age? The commentators do mention how good Sabu looks. He is ripped.
Dude, I have never seen Sabu this like vascular and massive.
He is absolutely jacked. And Parka looks to be in pretty good shape as well. But they go at it. I mean, just amazing chain wrestling, and they end in camel clutch variations, just teasing each other with Sabu's move, the camel clutch. Beautiful little start to the match. And then they just, you know what? We got that out of the way.
Yeah.
Time to get fucking hardcore.
Well, I heard like one fan go, "This is boring." And I'm like,
this is amazing.
This is something you never see.
Yeah, some of the best chain wrestling I've ever seen Sabu do.
Yeah, this guy who is not known for this sort of thing is doing some amazing work. Parka, not known for chain wrestling. They're doing really good mat-based stuff.
And it's awesome. And
then, of course, drunk one-tooth guy thinks it's boring.
There are a lot of ECW fans in the crowd.
Yes.
We already have some tables set up around the ring already, but before we get to that, it goes straight to the outside, not outside of the ring, over the rails.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We get a little Irish whip from Sabu. He kind of counters a move. He's going to do like a little tope, and Sabu flips him with his foot, and he barely misses the table. Cracks through it, does break the table, but lands straight on his ass to the concrete.
It was disgusting.
It's insane. Sabu flips him over the rail. The rail is all over the place. Crowds running everywhere. Sabu goes off the top rope, over the rail, into the crowd. It's amazing. These guys are hurling themselves everywhere. At one point, I think Parka reciprocates off the top rope to the outside.
And then doesn't he Irish whip Sabu into the railing, and the railing goes
just
from
flying.
Yeah,
it's flying. It's like pretty much ringside. They continue on to the point where the fans just kind of move it back themselves. Yeah. So you see them all. Oh, I guess we got to do this, guys. At this point, Sabu goes for the scissors. We end up outside the ring somehow. Scissors come out of nowhere. He's got the Parka at his mercy, and then starts just jabbing him in the forehead with scissors. We do get the rip mask, of course, not quite as much. I think Sabu's just going for a little bit of blood. It turns into a lot of bit of blood.
Yeah, this is like Cody Rhodes level, or Dustin Rhodes level blood.
Parka is bleeding everywhere. It's all over his forearms, all over the ring.
Like they're all over the ring.
You just see the little drips, like the plop, 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 plop. And you're like, oh, Jesus.
And I will say, after when the match ends for you, you could see immediately a man walk up with a mop.
I guess this wasn't the main event. Maybe
somebody else had to wrestle. Somebody else had to wrestle on that mat after.
It was like a Guar show aftermath, which I will be seeing again soon in Chicago.
I'm very excited about that.
And I cannot wait. But yes, bleeding everywhere. But we get back to the match. I'm thinking this is going to finish soon, but no, we see tornado DDT from Sabu, just driving his head into the mat. We see stiff shots, just stiff chair shots. There's no protection on any of these shots either. No. I mean, just straight to the head. We get a Hurricane Rana off the top rope. Dude, Parka is just taking a beating, and Sabu just keeps on coming. We end the match with his classic moonsault off the chair, off the top rope, pinning Parka. Alfonso comes to Sabu's aid with some water. He says, no, check on Parka.
Hypoglycemia.
Alfonso gives him some water. They reluctantly have a standoff where they eventually shake hands and mutual respect, because this is one of the most hardcore matches given me in a while.
Yes, Cookie.
Aaron, this was one of those matches where you could tell how fucked up Parka was when he just takes a knee in the middle of the match. Just sits there just like, fuck.
Like at this point, like I'm watching this match and I'm like, all right, Sabu, Parka, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting.
Not what I expected.
And then I'm like, oh my God. And it was rough.
I failed to mention we get a guillotine leg drop.
Yeah.
Again, from Sabu, has Parka laid out off the top rope, guillotine leg drop through the table after he missed that first table. Jesus Christ. There's blood everywhere, chairs everywhere, tables everywhere. Proper Sabu match.
Yeah, proper Sabu match.
So I have a feeling next week's going to be pretty bloody.
I'm going to try to find the least. I'm going to try to swerve you, bro.
Good
Just
luck.
kidding. We're going to have traditional Sabu matches.
Thank God. Someone's getting Terry Funk and Sabu. I know it.
Oh my God. Yeah. If I can find the Sabu and Terry Funk barbed wire match, we might get that next week.
Ooh.
We might get that. All right, Tolbert, hit me with your HighKu.
The boys get hardcore. Sabu opts for arts and crafts. La Parka rains blood.
Raining blood with La Parka.
Yep.
That's it. Another episode of $2 Steak, a pro wrestling podcast. Thank you once again. And we'll talk to you next week. Or whenever we feel like recording again.
Yeah, whenever
One or the
whenever
other.
life allows us to do so.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough these days.
It is.